Purchasing property in U.S. soil if you are a foreign national or perhaps even a Canadian citizen. I've been getting a lot of questions about taking advantage of the DSCR product where you can purchase investment properties while not living or planning on working even in U.S. soil. So in this video, I'll share with you those loan to values, loan amounts allowed, and the documents that will be requested as a sequel to everything you should know before taking out a DSCR loan. So let's get into it. One of the questions was, in Canada, for starters, the information that is verified includes management fees, repair fees, janitorial fees inside the debt that is being serviced or covered. We don't include that. Ultimately, the service debt would include the principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and homeowners insurance, or excuse me, HOA associations. So it's kind of like the acronyms PISA. And so if you are Canadian and you are a citizen there with a Canadian bank account, what will be required is that the funds are in a U.S. bank account. So a couple things. What is the loan to value that would be allowed? The DSCR loan allows up to 2.5 to 3 million with certain investors. And if you're going the no ratio route where you're picking up, say, investment properties, but you don't want to worry about whether the property is cash flowing, we can go up to the same amount, whether it is single family, duplex, all the way up to four quadplexes. Okay. So let's start with the DSCR. What documents would we need? First is the application, always. While the DSCR does not look at any past employment income history, you can leave that area blank. Social Security number will fill in 111 across the board. And then as far as documentation, we would collect, in the instance of a purchase, the contract, along with the last 2 months bank statements to support your down payment, your reserves, and then also the homeowner's insurance and the HOA statement, if applicable, at a later time, more closer to, of course, funding the loan. As far as ID, any driver's license or passport would suffice. Again, this is for Canadian citizens looking to purchase in the U.S. Now, if you're looking to buy as a foreign national, that means anywhere outside of U.S., Canadian, or Canada citizenship, such as Mexico, Europe, Puerto Rico, South America, you would be required to provide a valid visa or an I-94 form, in addition to those docs that were listed. So in terms of what's the max loan to value allowed, when purchasing under the DSCR, which is where the property would have to prove that it is cash flowing and the debt that we are servicing is covered by the rent that you're collecting, we are allowed to loan up to 75%, and there's instances, because depending on the loan size, it can be up to 70%. So in order to qualify for the loan, before applying, I want you to make sure that you have anywhere from 25 to 30% available in your bank account that's liquid. That's checking, savings, all of the 401ks or whatever we can use to support as your down payment, in addition to covering the brokerage fees, origination costs, closing costs, appraisal, title fees, and reserves. So I always ask that you have a buffer of about 5%. So if I'm telling you you need 20% down, go ahead and prepare for 25%. If we're telling you you need 30% down as the minimum, go ahead and prepare for 35%. If you don't have that, I would advise for you to, one, be prepared to start saving for that or having gift funds available through family. There's been times where I have borrowers reach out to me for a DSCR loan assuming that there's no money down. This is a very popular product among our investors, but there is skin in the game that is required. So I want to make sure that's clear to everyone that's viewing today that you do need money to qualify for this product. I'm not sure where the misconception is where there's 0% down. Unless you're doing a USDA, a VA loan, which is more on the conforming loan products, then that would apply. Or perhaps you're taking advantage of a down payment assistance. But DSCR is a non-qualified mortgage option, non-QM, that is offered outside of your traditional or banks down the street. So just to make sure that's clear. Now moving over to the foreign national, again, if you are not a U.S. citizen or a Canadian citizen, this applies to you. The max that you can loan up to would be a 65% loan to value. So again, we would need a minimum of 35% down. We don't look at any income. It's considered our no ratio product. And you would, again, be prepared to have that extra 5% to cover anywhere from 1.5% to 2% origination fees with the brokerages. That's passed over to you as a borrower. That covers any appraisal, title fee, closing costs, and those reserves. Now that is a lot higher, most likely, than what you will need, but not by much. But if we're really tight, I just rather give you an overestimate of what is required and, not disappoint you versus underestimate and you come back and say, you told me I only needed this much. So this will help you hopefully prepare for purchasing property in the U.S. A lot of investors have been reaching out in markets like Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, because they're able to find properties that are sub 100,000. I do want to emphasize that the loan amount minimums for these products are 75,000. There are instances where we can get exceptions. However, that's going to be on a case-by-case scenario. And so if you're finding a property for 100,000 and the minimum requirement is already 25% down, you're right there, before any closing costs and things like that. So if you have scenarios where your loan size is sub 75, just send me an email. All my contact information is below in the video description. But other than that, this is a really simple product. We've seen it close as early as 2 weeks, sometimes up to 45 days, depending on how buttoned up you are with having these documents. Perhaps you've purchased a property and you're currently renovating it and you're anticipating the appraisal to be ready 30, 45 days out. I would advise go ahead and reach out to us right about a month prior to your completion so we can get the process and the ball rolling. But if you have any other questions, feel free to send me an email, shoot me a text, and message me DSCR at the number below so we can go ahead and get the process going. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. I'll see you on the next video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to get updates on weekly videos with mortgage and lending tips. Have a good day.